Okay, this is February 27th, 2023 General Outreach Community Meeting. Before I recorded, Sasha reported that he is going to be talking at a meetup for Local Stack on March the 8th. Wasn't that right? March the 8th at 5 Central Eastern Standard Time, CEST, which is 9 a.m. Mountain Time, 9, 10, 11 o'clock Eastern Time. More details to come, and he will post it in Discord. Steve and I met with Alan Friedman Friday. Alan Friedman works for the Department of Homeland Security and is sort of their specialist, their cybersecurity specialist on SBOMs. He had some concerns about us working using a ledger technology for creating immutable SBOMs, and didn't really understand why we would go down that road. And that seems to be the bigger question that people have, is why would we not use just a regular database? And instead, why are we using a ledger technology? And we had some chats about that. Steve, you want to fill us in what your thoughts were?
Yeah, so the main thing that it comes back to is why don't you just sign everything and store it in a database and everything is all happy and good. And one of the things that when we started talking to him is the amount of data that the SBOMs create, and that storing that data in a cheap backend storage like NFT storage is the best way that we've found to persist that data long term. And in order to use the IPFS NFT storage, that we want to have the ledger kind of record the history of what's happening on that front. So when we talk about a database versus a ledger, a distributed ledger, that you have the redundancy in the ledger that you don't have with the database. So that was the main thing that we talked about to explain to him on that front. And I think you got it.
Yeah. So Steve, this is exactly why you document architectural decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Because someone will always ask those questions. And if you can hand them here's the AD that shows you what the problem was, what we considered, what our conclusions are, and what the implications are, it not only makes it a simpler conversation, but it shows people that got some rigor in the process.
Yep. And I'm going to be adding that this week to the architectural document.
Cool.
So,
it should hopefully save you more than the time it takes to do it multiple times.
Yep, definitely.
And at the end of the meeting, we did get invited to attend some meetings that he's having around SBOMs. I think he was interested in what we were doing. He started understanding sort of the problem set, particularly around microservice environments and tracking SBOMs. So I think we got his attention, and we should be invited to some of their community meetings that they're holding around SBOMs. In that process, we did create a start of we did create this, which is a high-level architectural diagram. I think Steve's going to add some meat to it, but to your point, Tony, this did help him at least see what we were up to, and helped him conceptualize and understand how we were using the ledger. Now, what we need on this is we need to add as well an OCI registry, because this whole section here could be replaced by an OCI registry. So we would be pushing to basically two kind of storage possibilities, which would be a ledger or would be an OCI registry. And Steve, is that correct?
Well, there is actually three, where you'd actually have what you have here, the OCI, and then without either of them, and just a Rango.
Okay. So we are working on that. I think that we're going to add this type of diagram to the architectural document and probably need to get a little more detailed to Tony's point. So that's coming.
Yeah, in fact, there's usually two levels. One is a level like this, which is essentially logical and shows the flows. Actually, this kind of blends them. The second one is a as implemented or is intended to be implemented level, which usually says specific databases, specific protocols, and so on. It also helps you then with where is there an abstraction layer so that, for example, if Torres, wants to put in a different database, we can see where to plug in.
Right. Right. Okay.
Right now, I think there is no abstraction as of now. So if we are considering like multiple implementation of that databases, right? So we should have like well created, method signatures so that we do not get to that complexity later onwards.
Right, and that's part of what I'm going to add to the architectural document to get down into that level.
Great.
Anukarsh, I think you have the task of the blog, right?
Yep.
Okay. So I'll be sure and I'm going to share this. I'm working on this Ortelius sales presentation for anybody who needs it. Sasha being the one who kind of started pushing it. I'll be sure and share it with everyone. So Utkarsh, if you need to pull anything out of here or you want to update anything, please do.
Sure.
Okay. Share. Last week we talked about, let me get back to last week we talked about presentations. I did submit for Steve and myself, I submitted a talk for OpenSSF. OpenSSF Days is still open if anybody's interested in submitting. And I think I could.
There was another one that came up. Let me see if I can find it at that same conference, but it is the Linux security.
So that conference, there's three conferences. There's two major conferences going on, CDCOM and Open Source Summit. Open Source Summit is ran by the Linux Foundation, and you can submit talks to the Open Source Summit. You can also submit talks to CDCon, and they have a GitOps component of CDCon. So CDCon and GitOpsCon is May 8th and 9th. Open Source Summit is 10th and 11th and 12th, I believe. It runs through Friday. The OpenSSF Days will be a co-located event as part of the Open Source Security or the Open Source Summit. And they're going to have that on May the 10th. So there's many different ways you can submit talks. You can submit talks through CDCon, which I think may be closed. You can submit talks to Open Source Summit, or you can submit talks to Open SSF Days. The reason why I didn't submit any talks for Open Source Summit is because JFrog Swamp Up is May 11th. So everything's happening that week. Any conference that we would want to be at, they're all happening at the same time. So I didn't want to take a chance of submitting a talk to Open Source Summit and getting stuck on Thursday or Friday, because we're going to have to fly out on the 10th.
Yeah, this one is actually called the Linux Security Summit.
Okay, so they may be having something else there.
Yeah, same dates in Vancouver, May 10th to the 12th.
Yeah, that's got to be part of the open. And maybe they've changed the name of it. Let's look. Am I sharing my screen?
Let me see if I.
Foundation.
Most of them are in person. If I'm not wrong.
Yeah,
I
they've
don't think
moved all back to that, unfortunately. There's the link that I have in chat.
Linux Security Summit North America.
Yep.
So that one you can submit. Let me put both of these in here. And I'm updating the doc, so everybody has this info.
It does not look like they're having anything virtual.
This is Open SFDF Days. And then Linux Security Summit. And that is no, but if we're already attending, like I think Brad will be there. I should ping
No, Brad's not going to be there. It's too
oh, he's
expensive.
not. Oh, that's too bad. Because
Yeah.
he's part of the planning committee for CDCon.
Yeah, he said on Discord it's just way too expensive to get there from where he's at.
I don't blame him. Well, anyways, there it is in the doc if you want to submit to talk. And it maybe what I'll do is send out a general email to everybody and give them this list to say here. I think CDCon's closed though.
Yeah, and,
Open SF
and this Linux one's closing in a couple days, March 1st.
Yeah. Okay. We still have the blogathon, so let's try to start getting some of the we have plenty of time, but I do have to do editing on all of them and then get them updated. So blogs would be useful to get them in. If not, we'll get them all done in the last 2 weeks of April, right around tax time, which is not a problem. And then we need to be thinking about our May event, which is going to be, I think we decided May 19th instead of May 20th, which is a Friday. If anybody wants to take on being a Twitch J, it is challenging to get everything set up, but once you get it set up, it's kind of fun. And that is all I have. Anybody help? Anything I may have forgotten?
I think that was the main stuff that I could think of. What happened with were you able to do that podcast with Sime?
No, he ended up doing the podcast with Martina without me. He had some problems. I'm not sure what was going on, but he did get it done, and I'm not sure if he got it posted yet. I can look really quick. See, Vince, because it automatically gets posted out here if indeed. No, it has not gotten posted yet, so I need to make sure it's been posted into our Buzzsprout and pushed out. So I will get that done today as well. I have a lot of kind of social networking tasks to do, and if anybody ever wants to join me on that task, I'll be happy to give them access to be able to post to the Ortelius sites. But I have quite a few to get posted out there, and Sasha, that's why sooner you can get me that info so I can ask them if they can create you a little social tile.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
And tell them that the Ortelius community will push it out for them.
You can give me any tips, Tracy, because I have no idea what to ask. So I'm just
ask for a social tile that has the topic, and let them know where to pick up icons. So in case you didn't know, if you're working on something and you need to do an icon, you can go over here to the CD Foundation.
I'm making notes. I need an icon.
Yep. So if you go to GitHub and you go to CD Foundation artwork.
All
of everybody's artwork is there.
Oh, cool. Yeah, ours is there. Yes. Okay,
yeah.
Thanks.
Add that to the document.
So
if you need something other than what's there, let us know, because we have the original Photoshop files.
The only thing I need is just some presentation, just a little bit of presentation material to show, because I'm using Ortelius as it's a clever way to do it. I thought, to get Ortelius out there, I'm using it as the demo, right?
Yeah.
And so people are going to see it. And I just wanted to have a little presentation, I don't know, just a little piece of, on my slides.
Yeah,
Just to
That's a
show
perfect place
Ortelius
to
and where
go.
you can go and you can join us, and we're really nice, and we'll make you read all 70,000 lines of Java code.
Yeah.
That is the place to go to get that. And I'll get a sales deck to you shortly here. I've almost got it finished. It won't be
Okay.
long. It's just going to be very, it's going to be 5 or 6 slides and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. Because I've got 30 minutes. I'm sharing it with one of the other people from local staff.
Yeah.
Which is cool, right? I mean, it's great.
Yeah, it's great. It's 30
Yeah.
minutes is the perfect length.
It's nice. Yeah, I think otherwise people fall off their chairs asleep or something, listening to me the whole time.
We'll be here. I'll be here. We'll get the info. We'll make sure we're all here. I'll push it out to everybody. So
Thanks.
Yeah, and I looked at their meetup page, and they do not have anything posted on their meetup yet.
Oh,
So,
so maybe
yeah,
I'm
so-
breaking the ice.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
their
bug
last
'em.
meetup was January 31st or somewhere around there.
Do you have that? Can you
Yeah.
put that in the chat and I can pull it out and put it in the
They only
document?
have 6 videos on their YouTube channel.
So if you go to
Tracy, I want to join you in the networking part.
On what?
Why I want to join you in the networking part for
Okay.
the Ortelius Twitter handle.
I will send you an invite to it. That would be awesome.
So I put it in the meeting chat.
Thank you.
The meeting chat, 2 messages.
The Zoom chat.
Okay,
Do you get it?
yeah. I'm just gonna put it in the doc so people know where to get it.
But if you look at events, it doesn't have anything.
So tell them you need to ask them to get that updated and if you can get a tile. Like a little community tile to send out. Okay. Let's see, social networking.
And they are in Zurich, Switzerland.
Yeah. So will they be able to give me this community tile? What is it, like a little profile pic of me or something?
Yeah, that just has your title and your picture and the date.
Ah, okay.
And then we need a link to the registration.
Okay, cool. I'm making notes.
So Arvin, I'll give you access to the Ortelius LinkedIn and the Ortelius Twitter. That's what we have right now. And there's discussion around Mastodon. There are companies now starting to move over to Mastodon. The problem I have with it is that I don't know, I haven't played with it yet, but I don't know if it can hook up to things like Hootsuite, which I use pretty religiously. But I think if we, like Arvin, if you wanted to start posting to Mastodon, we could go ahead and get one set up and you could manage that account. So it may be something we want to think about.
I will make my account on Mastodon today and play with it
Okay,
and tell you how it will go on the Thursday meeting.
I will do the same. Okay. So
Yeah,
first-
this is as of December. Somebody posted us Hootsuite working Mastodon, and they said not supported. And it doesn't work with Hootsuite, Zoho Social, and HubSpot.
Yeah, so they got to get those plugins working before it's going to be really popular. Because I set up a calendar for sometimes 2 months in advance. So I wouldn't be able to do that. Mastodon, I'd have to be on all the time. But Arvin could do that part. Arvin could take over the Mastodon account and do that and work specifically on that. So let's go ahead and get us started in it, because I'm guessing it's just a matter of time before they're going to connect it up to stuff like Hootsuite. And then we'll already have a presence.
Which
So
one do
Arvin
you
and
use,
I will
Tracy?
take that on. Pardon?
Hootsuite. Is it? Hoot.
Yeah, I'll
What's
show you
this?
it. Let me
It's
show you.
the same as what's the other one?
called Hootsuite, and Deploy Hub owns it.
Hootsuite.
And what it allows you to do.
Ah, cool.
So I have a planner here. And if I look at our social accounts,
Oh, that's cool.
you'll see that I don't have very much posted for this week. I've got 2 things, 3 things. I don't have something one a day. I try to do something 2 things per day. But it can be a little overwhelming to try to keep up with that. So what I can do is I can post out. So like this year in review, I posted that out, in December to be posted through March.
That is
Because
such a cool tool. And
Yeah,
you
it
guys
is.
own that.
it's, yeah,
That's
this is what I
Hootsuite.
use. And this is the 2 accounts that Ortelius has.
I always wondered how you were so on it.
It takes me a full day to plan the calendar out. So for me to then try to go and keep up Mastodon would be a project, but Arvin could take on Mastodon and easily take the tweets that I have here that he's seeing coming up through Twitter and post them through Mastodon. So Arvin, you wouldn't have to do quite so much work to come up with content. But I certainly will give you access to the Twitter and the LinkedIn account so that if you want to post things that you see, you can, because the rest of it is pretty canned. And sometimes it's a little self-serving. And so we do need to have more. I try to find technical content as well as stuff that we're up to, but it's hard. It's just hard to keep up with it.
Yeah, and I will also try to interact with other developers to reach out,
Yeah,
like commenting on them, retweeting their stuff.
yeah.
So
Yeah, one of the comments I've seen on Mastodon that it's for businesses, it's hard because you have to constantly be in your account and keep checking and doing stuff all the time in your Mastodon account.
Yeah. I'm not that much of a social media person, to be quite honest. I don't spend a lot of time on those sites. I just know we have to have presence on them, but I don't know who reads them. We have followers, but I don't spend a lot of time watching what is happening on Tweet or LinkedIn. Now I might go to somebody's LinkedIn channel and see the stuff that they're talking about and then comment on it if I'm having a conversation with them. But I don't, I don't get the fascination with the social networking, to be quite honest.
Nor do I.
does we have Meetup account also?
Do we have a what account?
Meetup.
We don't have a meetup. We do have.
Don't we have the Linux Foundation one, the CD Foundation meetup account?
Yeah, we have this. I am supposed to be running the CDF meetup, but I haven't had enough time to really focus on it.
Because I want to contribute in that part also. Like we can create some session regarding what we are using in the RTS. Like if we are using GitHub Action, we can conduct a session about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you should reach out to Sime on that, because he's doing all the podcast stuff. So maybe we could coordinate it through through a meetup as well. So if you want to go ahead and start a meetup account, go for it, and just let me know what the passwords and the user ID is. Or maybe I should do it and I'll pass it off to you. Let me do it that way. Let me create one and then I'll pass it off to you. Because we pay for meetup, so I can do it under the pro.
And that would be awesome.
Okay, I will do that. All right, you guys giving me plenty of work to do this week.
Sorry, Tracy.
It's okay, I'll survive.
We'll try and delegate to Steve next time.
He's got plenty. He's got a blockchain to write in the next 3 weeks.
Nice.
Oh, Utkarsh, did you merge your changes in?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
So
I'm gonna
that's
pick
time
them
to
up.
look at those. Yeah.
All right. Excellent. Thanks.
Yeah, do let me know if some improvements and
Yeah, I will.
Okay, everybody, thank you so much for the input and help and support. We will see you soon.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Have a good
thanks
one.
everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Right.